About the success of the Pink Slippers with her latest offering, Who's Knocking on My Door? Well, the author has a deep and passionate understanding of the English language, coupled with an imagination par excellence. Heller Stern created another piece of work that will resonate with her growing fan base. She joins us now in studio to tell us more about her latest offering. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Love.
Thank you.
I didn't give away too much in that intro. Tell us a little bit about a synopsis of Who's Knocking on My Door is about.
Well, it's got to be a bit sinister because we had all those jokes to say who's knocking and you had to say. But there is a little clue on the cover and it says, could it be death?
Right.
And that is the sinister part of it. So we have 4 aspects of death, but the groundbreaking aspect of this novel, it's never been done before.
Oh, wow.
It is quite revolutionary in style. And that is, for the first time ever, I have evolved. I have been inspired by a couple of people, whom I'll tell you about just now, who are fairly unknown. But the idea is to create a very condensed style. So instead of using conventional sentences, I've used phrases and sometimes just keywords, which means that they all add up to a paragraph. So the paragraph actually forms an extended sentence. And it creates an incredibly powerful effect. What I suggest is that whoever reads should take the first 4 paragraphs and read them out loud. Because then immediately you get the idea of the flow and the incredibly punchy and powerful effect of the language. So it means that all unnecessary words have been left out of the syntax. But you get the effect. And I suppose in the end it gives you a very sophisticated sort of a like not an email, but perhaps even a like an SMS with extraneous stuff left out. So you've got the essence and the drama and a theatrical and a very imaginative and poetic effect. Also music. My husband was an artist who died some years ago. I've always been involved with artists and creative people. So you've got that whole aspect of those things in the novel itself.
I mean, where does your level of creativity and work ethic come from since you launched the Pink Slippers as well, Who's Knocking on My Door? Where do these creative juices come from?
Well, that's really from way back. I used to lecture in English at Wits University. I was a bit of a rebellious upstart because even at that time I had very definite different ideas about how to teach, how to communicate, how to really spur the creative juices. And having written Pink Slippers, I then wrote a subsequent novel. It's a red moon and a green man, which is on it's an ebook on Amazon. And I had already written quite a lot of volumes of poetry, very short volumes. And in the course of writing this poetry, I stumbled on this sort of method, we will call it, of style. I was helped to a large extent by the global poet de Châtillon-Coq, who also does a bit of mentoring as far as I'm concerned. And then there's a French poet called Saint-Jean-Pius, whom a lot of people don't know. He was a diplomat, traveled all over the world, particularly in the Far East. And he evolved a style like that also, which was very staccato and brief and dramatic, but was never really very well known, not as well known as Claudel and people of that era. He actually got the Nobel Prize in 1960, Saint-Jean-Pius, but people mostly have never heard of him. And so that's what developed out of this, from the second novel. This was then my third novel. And it came to me so naturally that I felt it felt right and it worked right. And now a number of people who've bought the book have said to me, because the first story is about a South African 20-year-old soldier who fights in the Second World War, is taken prisoner at Sidi Rezai and is shipped over to Italy as a prisoner of war. And they seem to identify with this, and they say, but we know this story, and this is our cousin or our husband or somebody who has done this. And somehow it just seems to trigger a lot of energy.
Now, I mean, I can't even let you go without asking you this. You send a shout out to Sir, our very own Sir Marshall at the end of the book, at the back. What is that about?
Well, my interview last year, which I think was in November, was with Sam, who writes himself, as you probably know. And he is a very ambitious man because he decided that he's going to out-Potter Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And so in the course of the interview, and of course he having read the novel and so on, he was extremely complimentary and very encouraging.
Yes.
And so I asked him if he would mind if I used his comment at the back of my new novel, and that's how it comes to be there.
All right, Dr. Pamela Heller Stern, thank you so much for talking to us. Congratulations on the third book, Knocking on My Door. It's a very good read. From what I hear, it's a very, very good read. Well, when you do get a copy, like we just said, check out my co-presenter, Sir Marshall's shout out on the back cover. Let's take a break. We'll continue talking books after this. Stay with us.